Good morning. Thank you for joining Basics. We're just going to give it one more minute here and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Good morning. Thank you
How you
all.
doing? Can I get a copy of the link? I want to send it to somebody who's supposed to be joining us.
Yes, sure thing. Give me 2 seconds here. I will send it in the chat. I just sent a link in the chat as well to download a sandbox. That is just a mock pre-populated account. They'll be working
Okay.
through today. If you want to download on your end and follow along,
Will do.
please feel free. I'm going to send the link in here in just a second.
Okay, so Stephanie Morrow will be joining us.
Perfect. All right. In the chat there, Shane, I just sent the link that you can share with whomever you'd like. They should be able to jump right on.
Okay, let me send that to her. All right, she'll be here in a second.
Awesome. Well, I will go ahead and just share my screen here. Give it 1 second, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Okay. So I just need to go to the chat and click on that link you're saying?
In the chat, if you click on that link, it allows you to download what we call a sandbox account, which is just a mock account with pre-populated data. If you want to use that to follow along, if you already have your own account and want to jump in there and follow along
No,
that way.
I wanted to use the sandbox.
Perfect, you
And
got
I
it.
need help setting up my own because it just doesn't respond. Oh, what am I doing? I just got confused. So I copied that. Maybe I copied the wrong link. Go to
Yeah, I don't think the link, you can't click on it.
Let me see if you copy. Let me make sure that that works. Yes, if you copy and paste that link there into your browser, it will take you
Yeah.
directly
All
to this
right.
page where you can go in and you can create that sandbox on your end, and then it'll take you straight to. It should look pretty similar to what you're looking at here, probably with a few more KPIs and different metrics.
Okay, and so to create that by itself, 1 second here. All right, I clicked on that because it's saying Zoom.
The second, so
That's
the
the, yeah,
second
that's the
link is the link
register.
to share to jump on for the basics. That first link that I will resend here again,
It
if you
says
copy it,
bit.ly
yeah,
align
you got it.
sandbox, right?
Bitly align sandbox. If you copy and paste that into your browser, it will take you directly to it'll kind of bypass a few unnecessary steps, take you directly to this page where you can create a sandbox to use and to follow along on your end.
Okay. Uh,
And then once you go ahead and do that, it should bring you to a page that looks something like this, where you can select your sandbox and jump right into your account there.
okay, let me just do this and I could just finish that later. For some reason, it's not copying like that.
Yeah, it's not, I'm not able to copy it. I had to retype it, and
Okay, so that's not just me.
no,
Okay.
Is it not allowing you all to copy that?
no, it's not.
Okay, let me see here.
Okay. All right. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and I even typed it in. This is something's wrong here.
Okay, so something's wrong.
Oh wait, hold on. Do it one extra letter there. Sec.
So
Okay,
this is still the one for the
so it gives
22nd.
me, yeah, I get in and I see now I'm at the Explore line.
January 16th.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna just send her the registration.
Here, let me, if you go directly to that updated link that you should be able to click on in the chat that I just sent, that should take you straight to download that.
Okay, let me try that one.
Okay, so let me go to that one.
It gives me, I still end up at the same Explorer line, email address, first name, last name, create
Yes,
sandbox.
yep,
Yes.
you got it. That is, you're in the
Okay.
right place.
All right.
So the application align, that one?
Yes, if you click on the most recent one that I just sent in there, it should take you. Let me pull it up on mine. It should take you here, where you can go in and just put in your information, create sandbox, and then you should be able to jump into something that looks like this.
That's under this last one, application align today, publication creation sandbox. Okay.
Yes, you got it.
I don't know why this is not letting me. Okay, there it goes. And so I need to sign in.
Yes, you can. If you already have an account, I would use the same information that you use to log into your account. If not, you can use whatever email, whatever information that you'd like. It'll create kind of a mock account for you, and then you can jump in there and follow along that way.
Okay. All right. So do you see Stephanie at the registered at the?
Yes, Stephanie is in right.
Okay, great.
Stephanie, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Let me know if you all have any other trouble with that link or in sharing the Zoom link. Please just let me know. Just gonna jump in, and again, what we're using today is what we call a sandbox account. That same link that I shared in the chat there. It's just a mock account with some pre-populated data. There we go. Stephanie, are you still with us? Perfect. All right. So as we're going started, today is the basics course. So just really a high level overview of the key dashboards and features and functionality to make sure that you all are comfortable in getting in, starting to build out some of the key components of your own account as we're going through. If you have any questions, please come off mute, ask, or send it in the chat, raise your hand, whatever works best for you, but don't hesitate to jump in as we're kind of bouncing around here, touching on the key components and features of the navigation and dashboards. So right off the bat here, when you log in, if you're using your account, if you're using that sandbox account, you're going to be brought to what we call the My Dashboard. And this is, you may hear me say personal dashboard. This is really your homepage. Everything that we're going to look at today, outside of maybe actually jumping in and running one of the huddles or one of your meetings, you can really view or update right from your dashboard here when you log in. So the first thing that I would emphasize, you'll see there are a number of different components that are pre-populated on your dashboard. If you click on this pencil edit icon up here at the top, you should get this drop-down menu, and this is going to allow you, let me just refresh this here, jump back in. And so once I'm on my dashboard, if I click on my pencil edit icon, you'll see there are a number of different pre-populated components. I can add to this using my select a component drop-down menu up here at the top. I can drag and drop these and change up the order of my display. I can remove any additional unnecessary components. Completely up to you how you want to customize this. It's your dashboard and you're the only one that has access to your dashboard here. So once you've got that configured however you like, then there are a few different key components that we're going to touch on today, looking at our critical numbers, our KPIs, or our goals that we're tracking, priorities, our quarterly objectives, and then our tasks. What are the action items that are helping inform and drive those things, or some folks refer to them as milestones.
So I have a question, Alex.
Yes, go ahead.
I was trying to upload my one-page strategic plan,
Okay.
and I couldn't do that, and I was struggling to add people. Like I wanted to add Stephanie to mine. And I
Yeah.
wanted to add someone else, and I couldn't. What did I need to do that I didn't do?
Yeah, absolutely. When you say add them to the strategic plan or add them to the
Well, I
account?
wanted to import my one-page strategic plan and wouldn't let me. And then I wanted to add them so that we do tasks and they're included and they're sent an email.
Okay, got it. If you hover over this plus icon up here at the top, do you see an option to invite users on your end?
Okay, got it.
Okay, perfect. Because depending on their two user types, you may or may not have access. You should on your end, Shane, but if you don't see
Okay.
that, let me know.
So when we're done with the training, if we could just like have 5 minutes and I share my screen, I don't want to take up everyone's time with this, and we could do that, I'd appreciate it. Okay.
Perfect. Yes,
All right.
absolutely. That sounds good. Yeah, we'll get through this here in about 20 minutes or so. Then anything, again, as we're going through, please don't hesitate if you have questions. And if not, we should have plenty of time on the back end where we can jump
Okay.
into these things specifically as well. So just looking at my dashboard, again, completely customizable to you, really your homepage, set it up however you want to view or update what's most important to you based on your role in the organization. The company dashboard here is going to be shared for everyone. So everyone on the team that's an invited user to the platform will have at least visibility into that company dashboard. And this is really highlighting what's most important for us at the company or at the organizational level. So I will see, and we'll kind of use this as a springboard to talk about our priorities and our tasks. I will see first my critical numbers. What are those most important metrics for me at a high level on the business, and then our company priorities. So let me know, Mark, are you able to hear me? Is everyone else
I'm able
Yeah, I
to
can
hear
hear you.
you, but
a little spotty?
it's spotty. It sounds like it's like almost like a little bit of an echo almost.
Shane and Stephanie, is that the same for you all?
I can hear you okay personally.
Okay. Let me know. I'm gonna change my my audio source here, Mark.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Stephanie. And just keep me updated if I cut out at any point. So looking at critical numbers broken down into our company priorities, how the two work in conjunction with each other. Week by week, I have my company priority, what we call our insights. As we jump into our priorities page, we'll see the general insights there as well, but allowing me to visualize week by week, are we in the red, yellow, or green throughout this quarter? Again, I'll see my time period up here at the top, so I can easily identify if we're on track or off track, and I can actually hover over those blocks and I can see what my specific progress and percent completion was at every given week throughout that period. If I click on my critical numbers up here at the top, I'll see I have a couple different options. The first is to actually jump in if I'm creating them or if I want to edit it. There are a couple different ways that we can track these here. One is what we call time-based, and that is setting one overarching target. Where do we want to be by the end of the quarter? And then as we make progress throughout that quarter, it's going to automatically or dynamically update where we need to be today in order to be on pace or on track to hit that target by the end of our time period. So that is time-based. It does all the calculations, does the work for you. On the other end, we have custom targets. And if I click in, I can see where I'm going in and I'm actually setting up red through super green or dark green. What are my kind of stagnant or consistent targets, regardless of time period, that I'm looking to maintain over any given period of time. So a really common example that we see here would be something like a profit margin where I'm looking to maintain a certain percentage or threshold throughout the entire year. And so it doesn't matter to me where I am in any given quarter. I want to maintain a 12% profit margin throughout the period. And if we do that, we're going to be in the green, and it's going to be consistent for me regardless of that period of time. So time-based looks at where we need to be by the end of the quarter versus custom, which allows you to go and you can create those on your end. I can always jump in and edit them or view that historical graph to view my progress and change over time.
So does it populate what goes into profit margin automatically? Does it like say, hey, here are some of the variables you should consider? Or is that something that we as coaches help them figure out?
Great question. So that's something where you can create the what we call the formula. If I jump in to highlight this, you can create the formula using the things that you're tracking. What goes into that is something that you all will help them determine.
Okay.
So company dashboard, everyone has access to it. You all can decide what you want to share. My dashboard, each member of the team will have their own dashboard. They can go in, they can customize and set it up however they would like. Jumping, kind of moving along our left-hand navigation here, jumping from those dashboards to our priorities. This highlights everything. Again, I'll see that same quarterly time period up here at the top. Highlights everything that we're working on at the company level, at a team or departmental level, and even at the individual level for this quarter for that period of time.
So,
So I
let
can-
me ask you another question.
Yeah.
So Stephanie will get her own dashboard and it will just have her KPIs, or would it have everything? What would she need? What would
Yeah,
she get?
great question. She can go in, she can set it up however she wants. Anything that is assigned to her, so I can see what my tasks, and I'm just a ton of examples in there. My tasks, or if I own priorities, or if I own critical numbers or KPIs, these things will automatically populate here for me. So if I just really quickly jump into a priority and assign this to myself, just to use as an example. And now if I jump back to my dashboard, I will see by default, I now have that priority. I can edit it. I can mark my task as complete or just view my progress right from my dashboard. So anything that I own or that's assigned to me will automatically populate here. But again, I can go in, I can set this up and I can customize it however I want based on the structure that I'm looking for, what's important to me, and the things that I'm responsible for that we're going to take advantage of. So any member of the team will have their own My Dashboard or personal dashboard. Company dashboard is shared for everyone. You can go in and you can customize that, decide what you want to share. And then this priorities page is just designated for those quarterly priorities. So outside of critical numbers, outside of KPIs, this is really just looking at what are our priorities. Maybe just as a company, could be team or departmental, could be all the way down to the individual contributor level of what we're working on for, in this case, for Q1. And so by default, anything that I have designated as a company priority here is going to show up at the top. And then perhaps below that, or if I'll highlight in a second what we call the parent and child or priority and sub-priority relationship. I may have some of those nested beneath my company priorities because I'm using those as kind of the drivers and breaking down a high level goal into the things that we can do at the team or at the individual level in order to accomplish that. So just using this as an example, the number one priority for us as an organization this quarter is to create a culture of transparency that results in an increase in our eNPS score. I have gone in and I have set this up as our first priority type, what we call a roll-up. And if you go to add a new priority, or if you have any already, and I click to edit this, it's going to bring you to this exact same screen here. And you'll see that priority type is what we call roll-up. And that takes on the average progress or the average percent completion of the sub priorities beneath it.
So that was that fading line that had the red, yellow, and green. Is that the roll up?
The roll up is, if I jump back to my company dashboard.
Yeah, that right there.
It's- Yes, exactly. So these, my blocks here, this is my priority that we were just looking at. Above that, I have my critical numbers. So two separate components there. This page is just dedicated to the priorities. So critical numbers are the critical KPIs that we're tracking. The priorities are the quarterly objectives that we're working towards.
Okay. Got it.
The roll up is very simple because you don't actually have to set any kind of tracker. You're not setting a target. You're not setting a number of tasks that need to be completed. You actually just set it and then create what we call sub or child priorities. And it just takes on the average progress or average percent completion of those child or sub priorities beneath it.
So help me understand what child and sub priorities are again.
Yes. So child priorities, you can think of it, it's similar to, as we'll see in a second, if I'm taking my quarterly goal and I'm breaking it down into tasks or milestones with deadlines that in which they need to be completed by.
Got it.
Instead of doing that, I'm actually breaking it down into other priorities where I have clear measurable targets of things that if we can accomplish these priorities, then in turn, hopefully we will get or exceed 100% on my roll up. So it's just taking on the average progress of my sub priorities, which I can go and I can create straight from here.
Got it.
We will, the first example of one of those child priorities is what we call number or KPI driven. And that is, it operates very similar to those critical numbers as far as how it's calculated. It just looks at a clear numerical target. Let's say our goal is 100,000 in revenue for this quarter. And right now I'm at 50,000. It's just going to look at what's the target, where do we want to be by the end of that time period, and then where are we right now against the target that we've set. So
Got
just
it.
strict numerical calculation. If I go in and I can save that, I'll see my revenue goal or priority that we just created. It's letting me know that it's a KPI or number driven priority, and we're 50% complete because we're 50 out of 100,000 towards our target. The other example there is what we call task driven, and that is breaking down kind of a high level, longer term quarterly goal into a number of tasks or action items with specific due dates. So if I toggle to task driven, let's just say our goal here is to launch a new website by the end of the quarter. I can add tasks to that I can assign out to members of the team to track and to assign out some accountability. And again, use those as milestones or as action items that need to be completed so we don't get to the end of the quarter and say, hey, why didn't we launch our new website? I can jump in and I can assign out things that we need to complete to make sure that we have progress that we're making towards that goal throughout the quarter. So let's say in order to launch a new website, I need to jump in, I'm going to add task, and I'm going to say hire website developer, and that needs to happen by the end of this week. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to set my due date. So I have what needs to be completed, when it needs to be completed by, and I'm actually going to go out and James and I are going to do that together. So I'm going to search for James in my drop down menu here, just find him and scroll to him and add him to this. And then I'm good to go ahead and save. And so now I can see the task that we just created. If I want to go in and let's just say create one more, we've agreed on a new website design, and that'll be the end of next week. And
Got it.
that's something that I'm going to work on. I'm going to go ahead and save that. I've got at least 3 things in there right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just save this. And now I can see in order to launch a new website by the end of the quarter, that's task driven. I have 3 tasks. If I actually click on my priority here, I can see those 3 tasks, who's responsible for them and when they need to be completed by straight from here. If I want to click and view them, I can actually complete them right from this page. And now I've got one of those 3 tasks done. So I'm 33% complete.
Got it.
And so this is just a full dedicated dashboard to the priorities. Again, they could be at the company level, they may be team or departmental or individual, and I can see and easily identify what we're working on, what's our progress, and red, yellow, green, are we on track or off track towards those quarterly objectives? Any questions on the priorities before kind of our last stop is jumping into our huddles? Perfect. All right. So if I jump in, we've looked at your dashboards, my dashboard, company dashboard. One is just for you. You can go in, set it up, customize it however you want. Company dashboard, you all can decide the information that you want to share with the team. The priorities page here is just a full dedicated dashboard for all of those quarterly objectives. And then my huddles are my meeting cadences. What are we reviewing and discussing on a regular basis? I can go in, I can customize and set those up however I want. I can set the cadence that I need and pull in the data from across the platform that we need to review and discuss. So let's just say I have a daily sales meeting. So I can see that if I jump in here, if I have any other meetings that aren't meeting today, I'll see that in my drop down menu below that. But I'm just going to jump into my sales meeting here. And I can see there are a few different pre-populated components. So when I actually jump into my huddle, I'm going to see a few things. One is my agenda on the left-hand side. I also have a personal note section where I can add in notes beforehand, or I can take notes as the meeting's going on. In the middle here, I have what we call the meter, the data of the meeting. So what are the different, they could be critical numbers, priorities, tasks, the different data points or the different information that I want to pull in to review and discuss as part of this meeting. And then below that, I have an individual section. So I can go in if I want to, depending on the cadence and what I'm responsible for. I can enter in my updates. I can view and I can mark my tasks as complete. I can see if I want to, I can see my priorities and what I'm working on for this quarter. And then on the right-hand side, I can click on my other members of the team, other members of this meeting, and follow along and see their updates and see what they're working on as well. So kind of
Okay,
three.
what was this section called again, Alex?
Yes, these are our huddles. I'm going to walk through creating a huddle using one of the
Got it.
templates here in just a second. Our huddles are our teams, our meetings. So let's just say the one that I jumped in is our sales daily huddle. And just an example of what one of these can look like with my agenda and then the actual data information. And then on the right-hand side, I have the members of our sales team, and I can click on their cards and I can see their updates, what they're working on, anything that they need help with, anything along those lines. But if, let's say I don't have a huddle and I want to go in and I want to create a dashboard and a meeting instance for, my team, and we're going to meet once a week. If I jump in, I'll again to my purple or my blue plus bar up here at the top. If I click on that, one of my menu items here is going to be huddle. If I go ahead and click on that, you're going to be brought to this window where there are a number of different templates that I can use to create and build out my huddle or my meeting. So I've got a daily, weekly, monthly, and a one-on-one. Below that, I have a number of kind of feature or topic specific and focus meetings as well. Let's just say again, I want to create a weekly meeting for my team. I'm going to click on weekly huddle and I'm going to hit create huddle here at the bottom. And then it's going to bring me to this window where I can go in, I can create the cadence that I want. I can add in the team members that need to have access to that. And I can set up and customize the different data and information that I want to pull in for this call. So let's just say I'm gonna create my customer success weekly meeting. We're gonna have it every single week on Friday. It's gonna be from 1:30 to, let's say, 2:30. Thanks, Stephanie. You got it. I will shoot you over a recording. Thanks for jumping on. And again, if I want to, if let's say we're not all in the office together, we're meeting virtually or some kind of hybrid, I can throw my Zoom or Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, any of those virtual links right up here at the top. So I can actually pull it up and run my meeting straight from the huddle. And then if I scroll down just a little bit, I'm gonna add in the members of my team here that actually need to participate and have access to this. And then if I scroll down, probably most importantly, I can decide the information from across the system that I want to pull in for us to review and discuss as part of that call. So I'm just gonna create a quick agenda here. We'll say we're gonna review priorities, we'll review KPIs, and we'll review our tasks. And we're just gonna do that every week for an hour, go through those things, update them. And so I'm now gonna come into my team section. And I have a who, what, when for my tasks. I'm gonna go in and we're gonna look at our critical numbers. I'm gonna remove anything that I don't need.
So
And
the
then,
who, what, when, will it make you
Yes.
designate all three of those things?
to an extent, it's basically tasks. I can call this whatever I want. That's just
Okay, got it.
the default component.
So you
Um,
could say Joe, completes, training by the 5th. That type
Yes.
of thing will be, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you got it. Spot on. And I'll see, once I go ahead and save this, it'll show up and I can go in and I'll create an example. Basically exactly what you just said. And then let's say, I don't need all of this. It's kind of unnecessary clutter. I already created the task here. I'm just gonna remove that. And we'll leave our need help and our what's up. I'll remove good news. We're gonna look at, again, just priorities and tasks. Thanks for jumping on, Mark. And I'm gonna go ahead and save this. And so now when I jump in, again, I can see my agenda. I have my critical numbers or KPIs here. I have, if I scroll down, I can see my priorities. And then in my task section, I can create a task and assign it out straight from here. Let's say it's something where James is gonna go in and he's gonna create a team training for next week. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna assign that to him, and that's gonna be due next Friday. And I can create that and I can save it straight in my huddle here. And so now I have my KPIs, I have my tasks, and I have my priorities. I can click on other members of the team and I can look at their priorities and get their updates as well.
Got it.
And that's pretty much it. Kind of the key core components. Looking at your dashboards, you can customize, set those up however you like. Priorities are quarterly objectives, and then our huddles are the meeting cadences that you can customize to pull in all the things that you're working on. The last thing is really the one in the strategy tab, that one-page strategic plan. And I know, Shane, you had a couple questions on that. I can jump in here and we can go through that together, or if you'd like to go and share your screen, happy to do that and give you
Yeah,
access.
if I could get set up, because I already have my one-page strategic plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just need to honestly figure out how to import it. So I'm not seeing where I could share my screen.
Okay, yes, let me stop sharing. And